Hi guys, Jamie here, keeping it coy. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome, and I hope to earn your subscription today. Like everybody, we show the good and the bad on this channel. As you can see, it's quite sunny today, but it hasn't been sunny. I haven't been able to get any work done for just over a week now. It has just been raining heavy non-stop, and last night we had the most rain here in one night that we've had for a long time, and because of that we have got a bit of a problem. A couple more days basically until the liner gets here and this happens. I'll spin you around and I'll show you what we're dealing with. So yeah, we've had some of the wall collapse. It looks like some of it's gone in the bottom drain. It's pushed the bucket out of the way. Really apologise for the wind. Yeah, it's extremely windy today. So yeah, I've now got that to try and sort out and fix before the liner gets here. Obviously once the liner's in, the pressure on that back wall will stop it going anywhere, but I can't put the liner in while it looks like that. So I've got some major tidying up to do. Looks like I may have to buy some more sand after this, because I'm going to have to sweep the floor again, make sure there's no sharp stones. What a ball ache, eh? Right, so that's where I'm up to with that. I'm still, as I say, I haven't got any work done this week. Sorry about the light flare, but yeah, still on that at the moment. So as you can see, that's going to be my skimmer line. That'll come out down there, and then that will go straight up from the bottom drain when I've sorted it. Obviously the filter's going to be moved back a bit and get it all lined up and good. But yeah, so I'll crack on with trying to fix the pond. What I'm going to do as well is prop up the wall, put a board in front of it and put some pressure on it up against the other side, and yeah, go from there. Well, catch you in a bizzle. Like everybody, we are suffering with the wind here. Garden is blowing all over the place, but yeah, pond's still intact. So that's good. I've just about finished repairing the step in there now, but obviously with this storm, no way I'm going to go and stand out there. Filter house is still standing, so considering it's only got 2 walls up, that obviously shows it's pretty solid. But yeah, my roof's come off there, barbecue covers there, and several bits have flown around the garden, but what can you do? But on that note, we are giving these guys a clean out. I've got their foams in there, and as you can see, the foams do actually pick up quite a bit of the fines, so I'll give all them a good rinse out in the tank water, and then get them back in. And I'm also going to do today as well, I'm going to get that one cleaned out. Normally that one would be tomorrow, but I'm going to get that cleaned out today as well, because they're growing fast and eating more. So yeah, I'll snap back to you when I've got these cleaned. Catch you in a second. Well, that's the sponges all cleaned out and put back in, and that's the colour that we get out of the sponges. Yeah, but they get done once a week. Every filter gets done once a week, so they get 3 different cleans every week. It gives the chance for the bacteria to stabilise in each filter. But as I say, I'm going to do this one as well today. I'll probably do that again when I do that next week, when I do the big main one. Well, not next week, it's just the fact that it's the weekend. But yeah, so I'll snap back to you in a second when I've got that one out. So I've got the top off, the filter's all now turned off obviously. In the top here I have homemade a bit of filter floss top, just to again help catch all the fines. Unfortunately cleaning these out does always make the water go a bit cloudier, but as you can see down here, look, it certainly does catch a lot of the fines, because the sponges, I mean, they are big filters to be honest, and they reckon they put out about 1,000 litres an hour, these little Eheim ones, and this sponge is always filthy. As you can see, it's clouded up the water there if it'll focus. But right, let's get that in there. Ew. So yeah, I'll get these two sponges cleaned out and we can get them popped back in. Snap back to you in a second. Right, so that's all the sponges cleaned out. As you can see, the colour of the water again is lovely. So them two are now all nice and cleaned out. The can't get any more muck out of them, and the filter floss is good for one more go. It's almost as good as new. That'll do for one more go. So all we then do, drop the sponge and get it in. There we go. Back in there, that sinks into place. And it does. Give it a nudge. That's it. And then my homemade fines catcher. All I basically am doing is just squeezing the sponge down just a tad more, leaving obviously the centre gap there free. And all you've got to do is just make sure that the corners are not going to get, or the cover's not going to get trapped in the filter floss, because then it leaks. And not only that, it's a bugger to get back off next time. I'm not going to be able to do this one-handed because I need to push down on it and it's just going to slide down the glass. So again, I'll snap back to you in a second once I've got the lid back on. There we go, so that's all back on and working now. As you can see, it puts out a hell of a flow for a little filter. Yeah, that's all working a treat. So I'll get rid of this manky bucket of water. But as you can see, just by doing them 2 buckets of water to clean those filters out, it's a 15 litre bucket, I think. So almost down to the 10% mark. So what I do now is, once this bucket of water is emptied, I'll just run the siphon over the bottom of the tank, pick up any loose debris that's fallen out of the off the foams and any waste that's left on the bottom. And that's them done for this one. Right, catch you back in a second. Now all that's left to do is give the bottom of the tank a quick clean. So set my bucket up, get my siphon going. That's my bucket full. Normally I'd give that a bit longer and a bit more, but as I've cleaned out 2 of the filters today, obviously I've used 2 buckets already. I'll normally give it 3 buckets, and as you can see, although the water's cloudy, there's not an awful lot of large waste in there. A couple of specks here and there, but yeah, the bottom of the tank stays relatively clean. Now all we do is top it back up and give them a feed. As I mentioned to you guys before, I'm going to test my thermometers today as well, to see which ones are accurate, because I use my thermometers anyway when refilling up the tank, because it's today, because we're all at home with this wind, today we are at 21.7 degrees in there. And so the heater's not plugged in anymore because it was a waste of money. It never goes below 21 degrees. Well, it goes down to 20.9 on a really cold day, but that's still 21 to me. So I can get the fish tank top back up. Oh, what I was saying a minute ago, yeah, I use the thermometers to test the water that I'm putting back in, to make sure it's very close to the temperature that it is. As you can see, it's 21.7 at the minute. and once I've topped it up it will still be around 21.7. So I'm going to get it filled up and I'll snap back to you in a second. So I've just added some of my homemade dechlorinator, sodium thiosulfate, into the tank. And now I've put in the correct dosage of that into the tank, which for this tank is about 7 millilitres in the concentrate that I've got it in the 2 litre bottle. I can now start filling the tank up. I won't make you watch every single fill because it normally takes me about 20 minutes. All I do is I've tested the water that's coming out of the watering can with the thermometer, and I'll show you all that in a moment. But it was at 21.8 degrees, so pretty darn close to the 21.7. It's in the tank now. There's no big shocks to the fish. The temperature swings and whatnot. So there's the first one. As you can see by my arrows on that side, I'm back up to the 10% mark, and I've got about 7 more watering cans to go now then. So I'll snap back to you in a second once I've filled it back up. Here we are on the last watering can now. That should just take it just over my fill line that you can see in the top corner. There we go. So that's now filled right back up. Fish are all spooked because I've just put the pond thermometer in the tank. I've not seen this one before because I normally just use my laser one. But yeah, they'll be nice and happy now. They've had their water change. As you can see, it's just above my pointy fill line. Always go by the points on this side. So that would be 260 litres up to that point, but it always goes just over because 3 empty buckets, 15 litres a piece, and 7 then watering cans of 7 litres goes just over. So yeah, but as you can see on the old thermometer, pretty good today. We're now at 2.16, so it's fluctuated 0.1 of a degree, which is nothing. They probably didn't even realise the temperature changed. That's how I do their water changes in there. And the thermometer I've been using today to check my tap water that I'm putting in is the one that I won from Max Koi Pond, which is this one. Now, I don't know if it has a brand name or anything. Unfortunately, I've already thrown out the packaging, but as you can see, it's an infrared thermometer. You can either have it with the laser guide on, I don't know if you can see that there on the bottom of the fish tank. So you can either have the laser guide on, or you can turn that off. Obviously, I don't like to upset the fishies, so I've always got that turned off. My old one, which I've got, pretty much identical in what they show on the screen. The difference though, if I come behind the camera, the difference though is what temperatures they show. They're pretty darn close. One says 21.5, one says 21.6. Obviously they're fluctuating ever so slightly. But mine seems to stay very steady, whereas the one that I've won from Max Koi Pond does fluctuate more. But if I get a reading of the actual tank water, as you can saw earlier, my Inkbird thermometer, which I found to be pretty good, is still showing 21.6 at the minute. Whereas if I point these at the water, my one is showing 21.6, and the one that I've won from Max Koi Pond shows 21.8. So there is a small variation in them, but a long time ago, because I had 2 thermometers at the time that kept showing completely different readings, like miles different, I decided to buy 2 exact thermometers from the exact same shop, and they weren't cheap thermometers either. Just outdoor, you know, like stick on the fence type weather thermometers. So that they had to be from the same batch, from the same manufacturer, blah blah blah, and both of them showed a completely different reading. Now, you won't be able to see that from over there, but if I bring you up to the glass, I don't know if you can see that while that's in the pond water there, that's showing just under 22 degrees. Got 20 there, look. It's just under the 22 degrees, which again is about right, because, oh, we've dropped down a tad. We're at now 21.5 on there, so 21 and a half. So again, just under 22 degrees on there. I'd say it's probably 21.8. Yeah, about 21.8. It's literally just under the line. Probably can't make it out there. It's flowing away. As you can see, I've got a pretty good flow in this tank. You can probably tell that just from the bubbles zoom in past. But yeah, I've got the, I don't know if you can see it there, that airflow filter at the back there, that's blowing that way, around the back of the tank, and then obviously the back filter at the back there is blowing both down that side of the glass and across this way. This one's blowing across this way, and then that air filter at the back there is blowing along that back window that way. So it creates a lovely vortex effect in the tank, and that helps move all the waste. Basically, it moves any waste that does settle on the bottom, moves it down to this area here, which obviously has got then the airflow filter and the main intake there for the main filter down there. Yeah, so that's as much as I can tell you though with thermometers. I've never found two that are identical, but they're always within a degree or two from each other. Some I have found to be really bad. One thing I will tell you with these thermometers though, these laser pointed digital thermometers, obviously the bit that reads the temperature, I don't know if you can make it out there, but is behind, no, it's too dark in them holes, but it's basically, there's a piece of glass down the back of these holes, and that's the bit that's reading. These are the laser pointers, nothing to do with the thermometer, that's just showing you the direction you're pointing it in. The thermometers are in here. And what I have found is if I leave these outside for a while in the cold, they actually read a completely different temperature than if they were left in the house. And the only thing I can put that down to is the bit of glass or plastic, whatever it is, down those holes. If that gets cold, it affects the readings basically. It's best to keep them at room temperature, I found. You don't want to store them anywhere hot because again that affects the temperature, but room temperature they seem to be the most accurate because obviously they're showing the same temperature pretty much as what's on that, which is under the water, and the same temperature as the Inkbird thermometer. Love these bits of kit. I'll probably move this to the grow-on tank outside when I get one, because I can plug the heater into this. You've got your heating and your cooling, so you plug your heater into the heating one. If you did have a machine that cooled your pond as well, you could plug it into the cooling pond, and then basically you set your temperature on this one, and the heater, whatever you've got plugged in there, will kick in. When it hits that temperature, it will turn itself off. Even if you've set the thermostat, which you probably all know, I've got the little clover leaf heater out there. I could literally set that to 30 degrees, but set that to 23 degrees, and it will still turn the heater off at 23 degrees. So if you are going to buy a cloverleaf heater and are not happy with the way their thermostats work, these retail between 20 and 30 pounds depending on the one you get. My one hasn't got the Bluetooth and the app that you can get on your phone. I didn't really see the point in that, but yeah, these little things are absolutely great. So if you've got a cloverleaf heater and are not happy with the thermostat, have a look at these little Inkbird heaters, not heaters, sorry, thermostats. This cable here is the one that's in the tank. You can see it down there, and yeah, that tells obviously the thermometer what temperature it is, and as you can see it says heating, but there's no heater plugged into it anymore because it never goes down below 20.9 even if I've got the heating off. I mean, as you can see by the temperature in here at the moment, the room temperature is 21.8 according to this little thermometer, and obviously the tank was sitting at 21.7, so it's always pretty darn close. Right, well that's it for today's video. Once this storm buggers off, I'll get some more work done on the pond. My liner will be here tomorrow, so that's good news. I can crack on with that. So I've just got to do a tiny bit more work to the step, remeasure it all, make sure it's exactly the same as it was before I sent the measurements off to Paul at Kirky's Koi, because that's where I've ordered my liner from. And yeah, as long as I get it the same as it was when I sent the measurements off to him, we'll all be all good. I can get the liner in, and yeah, not ordered the window yet because money. Basically the liner, because of my step. Here's a bit of advice for you as well, guys. If you was thinking of getting a box weld liner, don't have a step in your pond, because before, when I got an estimate for my liner, it was under £300, not by a lot, but it was under £300. Now the size of the pond hasn't changed other than less water volume because of a step, and because of that step it's obviously created the manufacturers a lot more work, and because of that more work the liner was now just short of £750, which is a massive jump. I don't normally talk prices on my videos, but that is a good thing to know. If you want a box weld liner, don't have a step in your pond. If I could have gotten rid of that step, if there weren't a waste pipe under there, I would have done, but what can you do? So yeah, bank balance is a bit short now, so next time I do a decent job and get some more pennies, I will be ordering the window, and then we can pretty much get the pond up and running. Right, as I say, that's it for today, guys. I've waffled on enough. Fish are all now happy. In fact, to tell you what, before I go, let's chuck some food in for them. Going to treat them today. My prize from Wayside Koi, some freshwater shrimp. I absolutely love these. In fact, let me take the thermometer out as well so it stops spooking them. Normally they're not spooked at all at this stage. They love a good water change, but chucking a thermometer in there, as I said, they haven't seen that before, so they might take a while to notice the food up at the top, but the second they do, they will go absolutely crazy. Just bring it a bit closer. Oh, here we go. Thank you, Jill and John. They absolutely love their freshwater shrimp. Haven't yet tried the new Hikari food because I'm waiting until the weather warms up for that, because I want to give that to my fishes in the blue vat more than anything. Give that a good test. But yeah, as you can see, they absolutely love their freshwater shrimp. Right, as I said, thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all on the next one.